It's been another day of carnage that has left scores of people dead in and around the Iraqi capital, Baghdad. In the deadliest incident, a bomber detonated his explosives in a crowd of Shia religious tourists, killing dozens of people, including policemen. The religious tourists were en route to an important shrine in a Shia neighborhood north of Baghdad. Scores of people were also injured in that attack. In an incident north of the capital, another bomber detonated his explosives at a cafe, killing over a dozen people. According to UN estimates, around 1,000 people were killed in Iraq in September, making it one of the deadliest months of the past 5 years. Well, to discuss that a bit further, we're now joined by Professor James H. Fetzer, who is a professor at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and he's joining us live now from Madison. Professor, thanks a lot for joining us. Now, how do you assess this ongoing violence in the country? There do seem to be sectarian undertones here.
Well, this is a perfectly predictable consequence of the U.S. involvement and intervention in the Middle East. When Wesley Clark returned to the Pentagon after serving as Supreme Commander of Allied Forces Europe and was informed we were going to destabilize 7 Arab countries in the next 5 years, ending with the Persian nation of Iran, he asked why in the world we were doing that. What we were doing was fulfilling the Israeli plan, which Netanyahu had promulgated to dismantle the modern, sophisticated Arab states so they could not serve as a counterbalance to Israeli domination of the Middle East by breaking them up into smaller statelets that would be conflicting along sectarian lines, which is precisely what has happened here.
So then, Professor, are you saying that what the violence we're seeing in Iraq is to a certain extent out of that government's hands?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're talking about, religious antagonism that date back thousands of years. And the fact is that the nation needed a strong leader like Saddam Hussein in order to maintain its integrity. Saddam was so eager to avoid war with the United States that he offered through the CIA liaison Susan Lindauer to buy 1 million cars from America for the next 10 years. And then he added, if that's not enough, make it 20. But Bush and Cheney were so intent upon fulfilling the Israeli plan for destabilizing the Middle East and putting it under Israeli domination that they ignored it all. They ignored the best interests of the American people, and they have squandered American lives and treasury and made life miserable for most of the nations of the Middle East, sad to say.
So then do you not see any light at the end of the tunnel for the Iraqi government or its people?
It's very difficult to see how this is possibly going to end, because any time you might have a form of reconciliation between Shia and Sunni and Kurds, for example, the Israelis are going to provoke another bombing attack, I strongly suspect. And they have a long history of false flag attacks dating back to the Irgun terrorist gang that bombed the King David Hotel dressed as Arabs in 1946, the attack on the USS Liberty in 1967, the bombings of their own embassy in Buenos Aires in 1992, and then when that didn't kill enough people, their own Jewish community center in retaliation against Argentina for cooperating with Iran in the development of peaceful nuclear energy. I foresee no end to this kind of conflict. I am sorry to say it's going to endure for a very long time.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now, but of course we do appreciate your insight. That was Professor James Fetzer speaking to us live from Madison.